Hi, everybody. Good evening to you. Coming up on 7:30 right now. I wanted to hop on here and give you guys an update on what I'm seeing on the roadways across the area and why you're probably going to see some school closings going into tomorrow as these slushy roads that are snow-covered in many areas of the upstate are turning into ice. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of schools end up closing tomorrow morning. A 2-hour delay would probably suffice under normal circumstances, but this is not a normal circumstance. Our low temperatures tonight are not going into the 20s. Are going down into the low to mid-teens. In fact, I've got 14 for the low in Greenville and Spartanburg, and I've got 5 degrees will be the low in Asheville and Hendersonville. So any kind of snow-covered roadways, anything that's wet outside is already turning to ice. I have had story after story, law enforcement friends texting me, telling me, hey, people are just going too fast on these roads. Woodruff Road, for example, one of the most well-traveled roads in the area. Woodruff Road right now just had two reports. One on the northern side, the west side, I should say, near Best Buy. Then the other down closer to Southside Christian near Highway 14. People going down the road that normal speed and then doing into a tailspin, doing a little 360, ending up in the other lane of traffic. Thankfully, people were able to slow down and stop, but that's Woodruff Road, folks. That's not some back road. So you go to those back roads, those are a lot more snow-covered and turning into ice-covered roads. Okay, so as we move ahead, there is a winter weather advisory until 9 a.m. tomorrow. But here's the deal. I don't expect us to warm up from that 14-degree low much throughout the day. In fact, by noon, our temperatures are still 27 or below. My general rule of thumb is 27 or above gets us out of road hazards. Okay, that's enough to kind of get the temperature with cars going over it to lead to not at all clear, but certainly not as worried. And if tonight's low temperatures were going to go down to 28, 29 degrees, wouldn't be such a problem. But tonight we're down to 14. All right, so let's show you a few maps. In fact, let me know in the comment section where you're watching from right now. It helps me out. I'm going to read these comments here in just a second, and what I don't get to on here, I'm going to read out loud here. Let me know what you're seeing. Have you been out on the roads? Have you been on your driveway? Please be careful out. Again, decks, sidewalks, anything that looks wet, it is ice. It is ice, folks. We're already down to 20 degrees. So again, school closings are inevitable. Delays, we'll have them for you on WYFF4, so make sure you tune in. Let's look at what's going on across the area. I've got sky cams here across the area, and looking at what we're going to see moving forward here is as we look closer at our sky cams, got one right here for you that is showing up here across parts of Greenville County. We're going to need to watch this closely because moving forward here, this is an area that has seen more significant snow than elsewhere. So moving forward here, these areas are going to be something that we watch very, very closely moving into the overnight hours, especially in those areas where temperatures are already down to 19. In fact, we got that in some areas. Let me fix here. Boom. Got it for you. I-85. This is I-85, mile marker 36. This is in Greenville, very close to the line here. You can see we've got snow covering the roads. Looks like traffic going on as normal in some of these areas of Greenville County as the roads are covered in these areas, but passable. The roads look wet, though. Let's look elsewhere, where else we're seeing some of this issue take place. In and around Greenville. This would be 385 near St. Francis. Again, the interstate looks fine as there's enough traffic drying things off. It's when you get into some of these areas off of the beaten path. There's I-85, 385, kind of spaghetti junction of Greenville, right? Those areas are starting to see it. Woodruff Road area in Greenville apparently is one of the worst areas right now. As we look at Woodruff Road, Haywood Road, that's where we're seeing some stop and go and some issues on some of these back roads, and that's it. I mean, you look at the traffic here. This is 385 near Woodruff Road, and look at this slowdown here. I mean, it is a crawl. I mean, Woodruff Road is normally a crawl, but you go back here through Woodruff. I mean, just absolutely just stalled out right here back through Five Forks. Five Forks is an area that is just locked down right now. All of these back roads on this DOT map here indicate basically stalled out traffic. All right. So Woodruff Road, Five Forks area, just these roads are not impassable, but you're basically crawling. So all the way up and down Woodruff Road, you go into Malden, same story. These are areas that saw about an inch of snow, and now that's freezing over very quickly. Donaldson Airport, Augusta Road, big problems in these areas. As we look closer in, again, the interstates where these cameras are pointed look fine. Not necessarily fine right here. Here's I-85 mile marker 45. This is near Augusta Road. People are really crawling here, even on the interstate. Very wet. You see that glisten, that reflection off the road? That tells me that the roads are ice covered. Now, they're going to treat the heck out of these roads into the overnight hours. But you got to think, South Carolina is getting a big snowstorm all the way down to the coast. Let me refresh this model and show you what I'm talking about. So it is snowing right now across a good bit of the state. So they had to diversify these plows. There's only so many plows South Carolina has. Why would they have more, right? We haven't gotten snow in 3 years. So we're talking 5-6 inches of snow in Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Charleston, Hilton Head Island, Savannah. So a lot of the plows that would normally be up here probably were moved around. Okay, so that's where we go into the overnight hours. There's only so many plows that the state can have, right? And they're taking care of these areas just like they are our area. But this is an issue, folks. I mean, this is a big snow taking shape into the overnight hours, and it continues to snow really heavily going into the overnight hours, and it doesn't really shut down until 7, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've got that along I-95 eastbound, and this is a really epic snow for those areas. I'm going to show you first the snow totals. This is additional snow, not what we had. That snow backed up to Greer, Greenville, Spartanburg, along and just north of I-85 had accumulation, certainly more in and around Greenville where some of those heavier bands move through, which is why you're already seeing closings. Getting word that First Presbyterian Academy is closed. Southside Christian School will close tomorrow. Those are both in Greenville County. Waiting word for Christ Church, St. Joseph's. Greenville County, waiting to see what's going on. So waiting to hear all of this right now. Samantha reporting here that took my daughter 45 minutes to get home from Goodwill and Woodruff Road to Jonesville Road at 6:15. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes, so triple the drive on Woodruff Road. Woodruff Road seems to be one of the hardest hit areas. So watching this closely, all right? So here we go into the overnight hours. This model wants to paint an additional 3 to 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow along the coast. This would be one for the record books, folks. They haven't had this kind of snow in decades along the Carolina coast. Just not meant to see it, right? Nothing like what we got here, our little dusting to an inch, certainly causing some problems and icing things over. But boy, that's the big one many of you hoped for, right? You wanted to see something big like that. That's not going to be the case this time. But let me show you why this is such an issue here. As the snow moves out, look at our lows tonight. So right now we're about 23, 24 degrees. We're going to continue to go down. By the time we get to 4 a.m., many of us are in the teens, 18, 19 degrees. When you get up tomorrow morning, I've got 14, 15, 16, 17, anywhere from 14 to 17 degrees across the upstate. 6 in Asheville. These whites right here in the mountains, those are sub-zero temperatures, sub-zero temperatures. Spartanburg District 7 getting word it's a e-learning day tomorrow. Getting reports from FedEx drivers back roads are worse than the main roads in many places of Greenville. Thank you. Conisty Road, 4 lanes are a complete sheet of ice right now. Ice, pure ice. Okay, thank you for that update. Y'all please stay safe. I'm a first responder and having to work in this, and the roads are very scary, Emily says. Thank you, Emily, for that. Nothing in 6 Mile. Okay, thank you for that. My husband is on his way home from Woodruff to Travelers Rest. Hope he gets it okay. We hope so too, Bella. All right. For anyone asking, Greenville County has not made a school decision. No, they have not. Thank you for that, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you on the chats. Bon Secours Wellness Arena to Five Forks took 1 hour. Dana, my word. Watching that closely. Again, looking at temperatures tonight. Here's the deal. What would normally probably suffice as a 2-hour delay probably will not cut it tomorrow. Here's why. A 2-hour delay normally allows temperatures in our area, which on typical nights like this, we get down to 26, 27 degrees on a cold night. All right, that's usually what you go down to after some snow. But we're clearing out. This thing's moving on out, and we're down to 14, 15 degrees. Let me map out past 7 a.m. Here is a 2-hour delay. Here's what a 2-hour delay looks like in Greenville. 10 a.m., 19, 21 in Lawrence, 22 in Abbeville and Greenwood, 10 in Asheville. 2-hour delay buys you some time, and certainly there will be some roads that'll be traveled. That'll help things. But you go past 2 a.m. Here is 11 a.m. This is actually 10:30. All right, so 10:30 we're at 21. So I don't know if there's such a thing as a 2.5-hour delay. I'm not sure what time school starts in your district, but 10:30, 11 o'clock we're getting to 20 and above. Remember, 27 is kind of my number for things are looking okay. Things are better. If we're below 27 on a night, that leads to hard freezes, ice, and we're already there. We're already at 23. So here is noon. We're at 26. So even if you were to start school at noon tomorrow, we're still at 26 degrees at noon. Let's go to 1 o'clock. Oh, don't go that far. Let's switch over to this map. So here's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, we're at 31. So much of the day tomorrow doesn't get much above freezing. Anderson School District 2 e-learning tomorrow. Anderson District 5 out. Spartanburg District 2 still waiting is what I'm hearing. Okay, thank you for that, Carmen. All Anderson districts e-learning tomorrow. All right, thank you for that. Chris Sherbert's on. Man, got the whole gang in town. How you been, man? Got the whole gang back in here. Okay, it's been a while. We haven't had a snow threat in a long time. District 55 closed Wednesday the 22nd. All right, so people are making the call. All right, that's kind of what we're looking at. So that's why. That's why I suspect we will have school closings or delays if you have not received them already. And it's a mess. It is a mess out there. Here's, again, as we look toward these sky cams, these roads. I mean, this is I-85. I mean, the camera will switch between color and black and white, but people are going. They're just not going normal speeds, and especially going down these hills. That looks scary. Here's Malden Road. That's what I just clicked. Let's go down here. Again, mile marker 45, I-85. We've got some issues in these areas. Augusta Road, you going over here toward Highway 25 and I-85. I mean, there's a lot of pumping the brakes here on I-85. Now, this is the interstate. The interstate at Whitehorse Road. That's the interstate, folks. Going just fine here, just down 2 miles down. So that's the problem. You're just booking it. You're fine in some areas of 85, and then you get to these other areas where maybe the water has ponded up. I mean, it is looking like this is just a mile down. Look what the difference is. This is looking toward the north here on I-85. All right, so I mean, there are issues, and to reiterate here, it's mainly south of I-85. These reds indicate roads that are just a crawl. All right. North of 85, not much of that. In fact, you go much north on 14 here. You go on I-85, it's slow through Pelham Medical Center, and then north of there, relatively fine. But you go south of 85, all of these roads, including Woodruff Road, basically stop and go, crawling. Southern Connector through Simpsonville, crawling. So these areas are icy. Getting reports here from some friends. Got Verde Boulevard, a sheet of ice. Lawrence Road by the QT on 85 is ice. Big time ice. All right, thank you for that. So let me know where you're watching from right now, and let's get this conversation going here as we look at what's going on around the town. Does this chat? Let's see. Try something here. Does this work? We will see. There we are. Can you hear me? We can hear me. All right. It should not say tropical development there. Let's take that down. Okay. All right, lots and lots of chats coming in. Let me know what you're seeing in your town. Almost an hour to get from Scuffletown. Seeing that there. I mean, my cameras at home are reflecting off of the snow and ice on the concrete in Greenville County, and I'm getting little alerts here on my phone that somebody's walking around, but to my knowledge, they're not. Okay. Any news in Spartanburg County? Nope. I have not heard anything. All right. Pels or Greenwood. Travelers Rest got a dusting. I'm in Gaffney. Thank you for that. Those of you watching right now in Western Carolinas, we're getting chats in here faster than the chat system can keep up with. Old Easley Bridge Road and Easley icy. How are the highways? Mainly the highways from what I'm seeing are okay, but beyond the highways, those back roads are rough. Duncan Moore area, stop and go in some areas. Big difference the farther north you go of 85. Usually it's the opposite, right? Usually it's schools are closed because of what's going on in the northern part of the county. This time it's closed because of the southern part of the county. Chats are coming in so fast, folks, I'm sure you're not able to read those. But that's what we have going on across the area right now. Let me know where you're watching from. What's the road look like where you are? What are you seeing right now in your neck of the woods? I'd love to hear about it. Love to feature your report. Tara says, Clayton, Georgia. How can the coast get snow and not us? Right? That's the million-dollar question. Well, they're closer to the moisture source. The track of the low went to our coast right now, and everybody's cold. Florida is getting more snow. Officially, Pensacola, Destin, Panama City Beach will have had more snow than our area. And as we move forward here, that's going to be the case as things are going to begin to freeze over. Snow-covered roads will turn to ice-covered roads, and that's what we're looking at here. Fort Shoals is slick. Stopping here in Anderson about 7 o'clock. Yeah, the precipitation is over. We're not seeing any more snow in the area. What has happened has happened. Now the roads are just turning icy across the area. So that's the way things are looking at. Now, looking at colleges. Anybody watching right now in Clemson, what have you seen in your neck of the woods? So far, nothing too far west and north in those areas, but certainly Lake Hartwell. Anderson had some snow. Anderson University, saw a camera just a moment ago. In and around, temperatures are at 19 now in Anderson, and looking at some really slick roads in and around downtown Anderson. So Anderson had quite a bit. Lake Hartwell had quite a bit. Ground covered in those areas. Any ideas how it looks near Prisma? Well, I can tell you we're probably as a crow flies 2 miles from Prisma. Our parking lot is wet and covered. A little bit of slickery spots here and there. But right now, not looking too bad on the interstate. But those back roads are icy. Chris asks, do you think we're done with snow for the winter season? That's the million-dollar question. What's next behind this system? Looks like we actually warm up. Next week, we're back to 50. Beyond that, the outlook would get us into February. That first week of February, I've seen some models hinting at 60. So it does not look like we're going to get anything for at least 2 weeks here. That doesn't mean much. Mid parts of February are some of our most active times for snow. So certainly not out of the woods, but certainly does not look like we're in that pattern where everything's just kind of coming on us right now. That has been the case right now. Hearing from Sarah, Anderson University's on a 2-hour delay. Left Clemson at 4:30 and took me an hour and a half to get to Star. Melissa, ouch. That is terrible. That is terrible. My family in Pensacola got 7 inches. Wow, thank you for that, Hazel. Yeah, just epic amounts of snow for Florida. Epic amounts. Okay, folks, that's what I got for you right now. I'm going to continue to dive into the models here and give you another update as we move forward here. We are watching this closely. All right, folks, old friends, Mark, Chris, good to see you, good to talk to you. My most treasured weather spotters for many years. We appreciate you. Going through District 5 e-learning. Chesney's in the house. That's what we're looking at right now, folks. Let me know which watching. I'll continue to look at the comments here, and